I don't even know how to start this one anymore. That was kind of frustrating. But I'm just gonna pretend like it didn't happen. Even though I was 8 minutes, almost 10 minutes into my live when all my internet went out. And it was a pain getting it all turned back on. But here we are. I am technically, 3 minutes early compared to my new one. Yeah, I'm sorry, Leah. Holy crap is right. I just about crawled back into bed after my internet went out. I was so done. I don't even know exactly how long it actually was still filming. I just know at about like the 10, 12, or 15 minute mark around there is when I finally looked at it, tried to look at you guys' comments, and nothing was coming through. And I was like, what the heck? And then I just realized everything was down. All of my internet, nothing was working. I was so frustrated. I had to wait like a good 30 minutes before I could even change my post on Instagram and let everyone know what was going on. So I'm so sorry, guys. I know I left a lot of people hanging, but there wasn't much I could do. So I'm just glad I pushed through, because I was seriously this close to just crawling back into bed, you guys. I am so done with today. But that's right. We're just going to pretend that didn't happen. Yeah, I was talking to myself for quite a while. And my internet's still not working. I just finally got my phone service to work properly. So I don't actually have my tablet's not connected to the internet, my computer's not working. I mean, the computer works, but it's not getting internet for some reason. All my internet is down. Luckily, my phone service was able to start working again. So that's what I'm using now, but I don't have my tablet, so whenever I read the comments, I'm gonna have to come super close and get all personal with you guys. But at least it's something. At least something's finally working, because that was so frustrating. But thank you guys. Thank you so much for bearing with me and still coming to the live. That's how I know you guys are truly dedicated, and that's awesome. So, okay. Well, let's just start back to the beginning. I'm gonna pretend like the other video didn't even exist. I'm gonna just delete it anyways. So, yeah, this will be that replacement of it. But like I said, most of you guys probably already saw this, I want to start this video off with thanking everyone who shows love and support to my sister Amanda, because her videos are awesome. And I know it takes a lot of work and effort, and even just her allowing herself to be vulnerable and very open with you guys to share all of her videos. And when I watched the last one, if you guys stay up to date with our channels, she posted one about her divorce. And I think there's multiple parts to it now, actually. And I watched it, and it was very eye-opening, and it was very emotional, and I just loved being able to watch it. I could tell, though, it was a very touchy subject, and she had to be very vulnerable to post it. And I was worried for her, because I know there's a lot of hate on the internet, but I was so appreciative to all the people that showed her love and sent her comments of encouragement and just helped her so much. It was awesome. And she even expressed to me that you guys helped her to want to post more videos like that, and helped her to be more okay with showing her vulnerability and just to be open with you guys, in hopes that you guys can take something from her videos that will help you and inspire you. So I love that, and I just wanted to start off with thanking you all for that. Anyways, if any of you guys follow me on Patreon, you already know kind of where the topic of this discussion is going to go today. I found it very fascinating when I took the questions that I was asking an order member, and I took those same exact questions and asked someone that was not affiliated with any church. And the questions were a little bit targeted towards trying to have the order member kind of think about who's really in control, and think about the controlled environment of the order and things like that. But it was even more interesting when I took those questions and I asked someone that wasn't affiliated with any religion. And the order member, when I was asking them these questions, it was very interesting, because they were saying how they are in so much control. Like, they have no problem with having the law of one above another, having someone over them, because they're in control of how much influence that person has on them, how involved they are in the church and things like that. And they feel like they were not being restricted by their freedom whatsoever. And then when I talked with the person that was not affiliated with any religion, he took those questions more internally, and he had a lot more to say on them. And he started questioning about who influences his decisions, who's like really in control of his social environment, and his like involvement of what he does in his life. And he was comparing it to like a lot of the basic things, like how the government kind of does control things, and we have laws and restrictions and stuff like that. But he was even looking on a more specific, personal way for himself, talking about like his work environment, all of the rules that he has to follow there, all of the different like unspoken even guidelines that they go through there, his like social groups, his friend groups, all the different environments that he puts himself into. And to me, this conversation was so much more interesting than the conversation I had with the order member, and it just like blew my mind. And that's why I'm really bringing it here today, because I feel like I learned so much, and it was very eye-opening and just fun to talk about. And so I was like, if I had this much fun talking to one person about it and like bouncing ideas off of him, seeing his perspective and stuff, I can only imagine how many like how much feedback I would get, and how much like interesting comments and ideas that people might have on my channel. So I'm excited to see what you guys think about all of these. I just kind of have like basically a few questions and like discussion topics that we went over together, and I'm curious what you guys think about it. And I want to start this off with saying that like there's no right or wrong answer. This is purely for the sake of bouncing ideas off of one another, to kind of see and like look at it from different perspectives. Where's it going with that? Oh, because I'm not interested in what the right answer is or the wrong answer. It's more about how we come to that conclusion and why we decide what we decide. Because let me just start off with one of the questions. Or I guess the first one's a topic discussion, because it was anything we choose or decide on won't actually matter to most, because everything can seem wrong in some eyes. In a world with so many people, the only way to fully be right is by being around people that see things the way that you do. Now, that kind of takes a little bit of explaining, but basically, we were discussing and talking about how it's so interesting that no matter what you might have for like a moral belief, or what you might think is true or right, anywhere you go, any different groups or groups of people or different environments, then some people, it's very likely will see it wrong. And so some things that you believe are right, other people might see wrong, and some things that you see as wrong, people might see as right. So we were basically narrowing it down and kind of came to somewhat of a conclusion. It's very likely you can't fully be right in all aspects of your life unless you surrounded yourself with people that were exactly like you, and kind of like, only allowed people around you that had, I don't know, the same upbringing as you and like thought exactly like you. And the biggest reason why I feel like this is a bad idea is because in our world today, we already have so much segregation, so many borders, so many different groups and niche and like cliques and whatever, where we're all kind of already separating more and more from one another. And I was like, maybe that is true. The only way for you to be fully right is if you're surrounded by people that basically agree with you or have the same exact mindset as you. But it's like, to me, why does that matter? I feel like it's so much more important to understand like why someone agrees with certain things and how we can get along, no matter what our beliefs are, instead of trying to only associate with this small, tiny little group of people, And so that's kind of what a lot of the discussion was, but it led into so many fun things. And so I'm just curious what you guys think about it. We also were kind of like expanding on this, talking about how with, I guess, the government, or in our, maybe it is only America specifically, but I think it could relate to other countries too with their own rules or whatever setup they have with government and stuff. But we were talking about how sometimes it does seem very much like a popularity contest when it's a grand scheme, the whole country as a whole deciding like the laws or what's right, what's wrong. Then essentially a lot of the times it's just whatever the most people agree on. You know, whatever the most people say, oh, this is how it should be. And then it kind of makes it feel a lot like a popularity contest. And to me, I don't know. I guess it just really caused the question to me, is like the majority always right? Because if like our governing system is all about whatever the majority say goes, then to me, sure, if that's the way it is, but then it would be worry me if the majority can't always be right, you know? It's not, man, how do I say that? Well, anyways, like I said, there's no right or wrong answer. It's just basically, I don't think the majority is always going to be right. It's kind of worries me if it is like more of like a popularity contest, which I don't know exactly if it is. This is one of the topics that we went over. Sorry, I'm still getting messages. Yeah, when my live went down, I got tons of messages. Everyone being like, what's going on? What happened? Do you know that your video is not going? Which was good because the first one, but then I kept getting on more and more messages and stuff. But okay, sorry, let me take a break. Let me see what you guys are saying here. It's better to have people around you that all think differently so you can think for yourself what you believe or want in life. Yes, you may disagree, but everyone should be entitled to an opinion. Exactly, yeah. I like that. Who said that? Emma Wood. Also, welcome everyone. Welcome Emma, welcome Daniel, welcome Russ, Pumpkin. Welcome Chrissy, Flicker Fade, Emma, Leah, Caitlin. Welcome guys. Russ says there will always be two opinions on one subject. That's true. Chrissy Gunning, that's all his full siblings who have left. Some of his half siblings have left. He's not consistently allowed to have contact with the ones who remain, but tries very hard. Thanks for answering that for me, Flicker Fade. I have to use my tiny little screen now because my tablet won't connect to the internet, so I can't see all the comments. Oh, and I'm probably in top comments again. Dang it. Let me see if I can switch this to live chat. Here we go. Just made it. Welcome, Anthony. Heck yeah. Nice. I think Cammie, Amanda, Rachel, and Eskel are the only full siblings out. Yeah, that's true. So far, anyways. But, And then we have quite a few half siblings that are out as well. Awesome. Yeah, thanks for the comments, you guys. I like the feedback. Hello. Yeah, welcome. Nice. Oh. All right. Lost my train of thought a little bit, but basically where I was going with this is it eventually led into talking more about how there's a lot of people, like just in general. Really? Okay, that's good. Someone said I don't have anything in my teeth. I hope you're not being sarcastic, but okay, cool. Yeah, I'm sorry. I have to come really close because my screen is tiny and this is all I have now. The only thing I have, the last source I have connected to the outside world. Okay. Oh yeah, so finding similarities rather than differences. I feel like a lot of the world generally, like especially on the internet where there's so much hate, everyone's always looking at all the differences and all the reasons to like disagree and stuff like that. And what I think is worth doing is to sorry, I'm reading the comments at the same time as I'm talking, to wherever you're going to focus your energy, that's what's going to be easier. It's just as easy to find similarities with people or groups, organizations, anything really, as it is to find differences. So I'm like thinking that it's just basically what you're going to use your energy and put all your effort into. You might as well make it something that is going to be positive or like be more beneficial, you know, something that you want more of in your life anyways. And so because the discussion kind of led into a category of, I guess, finances, I would put it as, I want to talk a little bit about some similarities that you and I have. And this one's really interesting because I want to make a prediction. I want to guess the financial class that you all are in, because I'm just trying to find something that we might be similar in, a way for a lot of us to relate. And then there's a lot more I want to dive into with that. But anyways, most likely you are in middle class or lower class. And what I think is super interesting is, like, I guess statistically, or whatever you want to say, the majority of people are within those two classes. And the reason why that's so interesting to me is because I was doing a little bit of research, and to me this is just fun. I'm not trying to like categorize you all again or anything like that. I feel like this one is just a little bit necessary to get the right idea across, because check this out. So 5% of the US population is in the upper class, or if you classify it as the $1 million category. And that's 5%, you guys. That's pretty small. And the reason why it's so easy to predict that everyone else is, unless there's some millionaire watching this, which that would be cool, whatever. But most likely, statistically, all of us are in middle class or lower class, because 50% of the population is considered to be in middle class and 40% in lower class. And as interesting as that is, it's even more interesting when you look at the outliers, because there are 2,000 people worldwide that are in the $1 billion classification. That's not even like necessarily that would, I mean, of course, it would probably be in upper class, but that's not even necessarily in the upper class category. It's an outlier because it's so extremely off from all the other people. And so, yeah, there's only 2,000 in the whole world out of 7 billion people on the planet. So if that's not interesting to you, then sorry, I don't know what is. But as we were having this discussion, we were talking about like the unproportionate distribution of wealth in just the world in general. And so we were looking up all of these statistics, and it was just mind-blowing. Very interesting to see. And I couldn't help but compare it to the order. Because, I mean, as an order member looking at this, I'm sure they'd be like, well, yeah, even in the outside world, then, there's an unproportionate distribution of wealth, of finances in the world in general. Just like in the order, it is. And I brought that up before, that a lot of the leaders have a lot more money and a lot more influence and a lot more, financial say and a lot of stuff. But what the big difference is, in just the general world, we don't sign 10% forms. We don't claim that we live the law of consecration like they do in the order, which is funny to me, because if they are living this law of consecration, or this rule of distributing the wealth evenly, and then they still have the top people that are very well off financially and have a lot more money, then it's an issue. I even think, it's not necessarily an issue in the world itself, but it is kind of odd that just in the world in general, the top 1% have so much money in comparison. I couldn't find any even statistic on this, but there were so many articles and people that were talking about how basically it would take 75% of the lower and middle class people to put all of their money together to even come close to the top 1%. So it's super uneven, basically. I read that right after the start of the pandemic, when the government was collecting information about people's finances for the stimulus payments. Yeah, I know. I feel like even before I looked up these statistics, I could have guessed roughly along these lines, that it's very unproportionate, that the majority of people are in lower or middle class. But then actually looking them up and really pondering and thinking about them just kind of blew my mind even more. I think it's crazy to think about the amount of money that people have that some will never see. Yeah. Stark, whoa, that's freaking creepy. Why the heck didn't you tell Eskel? What? Okay, I'm missing something. Let's see. Let me just go back a little bit. I'm also protective of my privacy. I have because order members tried to. Okay, wow. What happened to your computer and internet? I still don't know. I gave up trying to work on it, and now I'm just doing everything from my phone, which Kind of sucks, but at least I'm able to get back on and go live. I was about to comment that flicker fade. Yeah, I did have strawberries for breakfast, but thank goodness they're not in my teeth. I feel like nowadays everyone is working on trying to be right instead of finding a solution. Exactly. That's why, like, in this discussion, I don't care very much about what's right or what's wrong, what people view as right or wrong. I care more about why you view that or how you came to that. What connections did you make in your head to determine if that's right or wrong, or why you want to believe that. Russ Commander, but if he does, let us make a pact not to tell him. I think we would all jump in to help. I'm alive. Welcome, David. Heck yeah, what's up? Of course, I'd probably not see it again anyway. Wow, lots of good comments, you guys. Thanks. Late to this one, but made it. Welcome, Jen. Glad you can make it. I think it's crazy to think about the money that people have. Wait, did I read these? An estimated 50% of adult Americans could not handle an emergency $400 expense. Is that true, Flicker Fade? 50% of adult Americans not handle an emergency $400 expense. That would suck to have to come up with $400 right away, but I think that's what an emergency savings is for, right? Dang. I wouldn't be surprised though. There's a lot of Americans that live paycheck to paycheck. Today at church they said it's not our money, it's the Lord's money, so we shouldn't be mad if someone takes it. Oh, that sounds like an order member. Dang. Man, that would suck. Because it's probably one of the 5 brothers, one of the leaders that have a say in all the finances that are teaching that. They're teaching people, don't worry where the money goes, because it's going in my pocket. Stop complaining. I don't know. It's true. There's an article about it if you Google it. In a strictly financial sense, once someone can accrue a large sum of money, it makes it much easier to snowball into much more. Exactly. I hear that the first $100,000 is the hardest to make, and from there you get way more opportunities, and you can use that to grow, and it doesn't take nearly as long to double it and make the next 100,000, which makes sense because you need to have money to make money, and so that's the struggle, slowly building up from it. I watched a video on wealth distribution in America, and the reality of it is way off what it should be. Yeah, and it's crazy too. I think that's why it piqued so many people's interest, because there's so much money out there. It is insane, you guys. And I don't know, it just seems odd that the government just keeps printing more, but I guess they have to keep some sort of a regulation. Otherwise, I don't know, the economy can collapse or something like that. I don't know. Maybe I overthink about it, and I'm not trying to like make the world we live in seem more complicated than it is. I just love like topics that are like a deep dive into people's like understanding of how they think and why they think the world functions in the way that it is, because sometimes I wonder, like, do we have any effect on it? Do we have a say in the environment and our social environment that we're in? How much does the butterfly effect or the ripple effect actually happen in our society that we live in, because sometimes it's hard to say if it does, especially because I still consider myself in lower class. I don't make a lot of money, and it seems a lot of the times like you have to have money to make much of an influence, or at least to be able to do a large amount, I guess, to like, I don't know, get the attention of a lot of people. And what did he say? At one point in the discussion, he said something along the lines of, who is running like the system, essentially? Because when money is, what did he say? When money is power and the top 1% have the most money, do they have the most power then? And are like our advertised lifestyles cultivated by the morals of the majority of people, or like the most amount of people, or would it be like the most influential people, or just essentially the richest people, you know? And what makes people influential if not money? I know that there's got to be other things, but money seems like a huge one. Thank you, Slor. That's a cool name. Slor, thanks for the $5 donation. Keep it up. I will. I like your little workout emoji. I gotta hit the gym, man. That's awesome. But yeah, I don't know. I keep on talking about the top 1%, and I'm basically just referencing to the people that have, like, maybe billionaires, I suppose. Yeah, the people like Elon Musk and stuff. I think it's interesting because it's not like I don't feel like they didn't work for their money, because I'm sure they did. You know, Elon Musk, he has a mind unlike any other. He has done so many things to accumulate all that money that he has. I'm sure he's taken huge risks, all the stuff that he did, but it's still fascinating that it's so much money, you know, because I guess maybe for me, I just can't fully comprehend what it would take to accumulate that much wealth, or how just any like 1 or 2 business ideas would accumulate to that. You know, what must be going on inside of his head? You know, how is that even possible? And not only him, there's 2,000 billionaires on the planet, and it's just crazy that's able to happen. And I mean, it is amazing too. There's definitely a like fascinating aspect about it too. Oops, where am I going? And sorry, I guess I did kind of bring up, oops, let me see. I am of the opinion that money literally equals power. It's an abstract of power into measurable units, but there's no functional difference. Nice. I'm glad you brought that up, Flicker Fade. I feel like so many people would agree with you. I'm sure I agree with you to some extent too, but where I am curious and wonder, my contradiction to that is, what about the influence of numbers though? The vast majority of numbers, you know, it's basically like there's got to be something that comes with having the power in just so many people. That's why there's like large companies, huge groups, cults even, you know, organizations, businesses that are able to somewhat do a lot of things or have a lot of influence and like grow and like, you know, accomplish what they're trying to do because they have so many people. And there's got to be somewhat of a power in numbers, at least to some degree. I think in a lot of ways that's how maybe Hollywood's not the best example, but for lack of better terms, like how Hollywood's able to reach out to so many people and like have such a big influence on American culture and things like that because of the mass amount of numbers that they have. But I guess, see, Hollywood's a bad example because Hollywood has a ton of money too. So you're right, it definitely could be Hollywood's influence and ability to reach out to so many people could be the money as well. But there has to be some degree of the power in numbers, you know? And to me, that makes me wonder if there is someone in control, whether it's like the top 1%, the government, Hollywood, whatever, if there is someone in control, would they really want us to be able to like come together? Would they help us to become more united as like a nation or whatever? Or would they be trying to segregate us? Because if they don't, then we may be able to come together in our numbers and make like turn on them or like question what they are trying to influence with us and things like that. And so part of me wonders if maybe whoever is in control, if anyone's in control, if they do try to create all these borders and segregation to keep us from working together and like, you know, get better ideas and essentially team up and stuff like that. But then on the contrary, another part is like, do they really care? If there was someone in control, would they care what all of the other people do in their country? Like if you had so much money, would you pay attention to what the school systems teach or what, I don't know, what the people are posting on social media or what Hollywood posts in their videos and stuff? Because I don't know, I feel like I wouldn't care that much if I had a ton of money. I would assume that they don't have to worry about what's taught in the school systems because they don't like it. They can put their kids into whatever private or charter school they want, or create their own school if none of them satisfy them. Or you have so much money that you can just do your own thing, I would think, unless you have so much money and your overall goal is power and control. That's when I feel like there would be a big mix and a want of controlling like some sort of a system and being involved and stuff like that. But it's really hard to say. Who knows if they wanted to, if they could have control like that. Because like the government, I don't know, sometimes it's hard to say if they are on our side or not, but whether they are or not, they have to be at least doing something with all the money that they have. So let's see. Good ideas can create influence, like you just mentioned, Elon Musk. He had an idea and ran with it. Yeah. My buddy who graduated from Wharton disagrees. He says money isn't power, power is power. I guess he would know better than me, but I honestly failed to grasp the distinction. Well, yeah, he can't just say power is power. Because, yeah, obviously power is power, but if money gives you influence, and influence lets you, I don't know, gives you people's, votes or people on your side, then essentially that could equate to power as well, or control, which control can equate to power. But $1 billion can go from Earth to the moon, wrap around the moon, and still come back to the Earth. Is that true, David? That's a fun statistic. Heck yeah. Abigail says money is a tool. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Oh, welcome, Abigail. Heck yeah. Most of the billionaires started in their garage. Good for them. They succeed. But on the other hand, yes, greed and power almost always take over their minds. Yeah, see, exactly, Russ. That's why I don't have super strong opinions on anything. I'm just curious, and I like discussing it and trying to cultivate more of an idea for it. But I can't fully agree with people that are like, oh, rich people suck. They got too much money, and they could feed they could end world hunger or buy a home for every homeless person on the planet, yada yada. And I'm like, true, maybe they can do that, but they did get the money. They did work for it. It is their money. They have every say in what they do to it. And honestly, almost every billionaire out there has donated millions upon millions of dollars to organizations to better the either world hunger or just to better society as a whole. And so honestly, they are helping in so many ways, not only from the donations, from the products and companies that they created, They really are helping in a lot of ways. And there is the other side. Yeah, they have so much money, and a lot of the times greed probably does get to them, like it probably would anyone, And so, yeah, it's a hard topic to definitely discuss. I don't know if there's any solution to it, but it's interesting for sure. Every plant in the solar system can fit between the Earth and the moon? Really? But if money is made from trees, then that doesn't make sense. How could that be if money can wrap around the moon, but not the plants? I do think that some people that have a lot of money work really hard for it. I've seen people that are upper class in my life work a lot of hours for their lifestyle. See, that's cool. Yeah, and I believe it. I know of a lot of people that are very wealthy and that have basically worked their whole life for it and definitely deserve it. They worked hard for it and they earned it, and they're making the most of it and things like that. If you have power, then you have money, or you can have money. You can power into money if you even need to have money at all. It's true. You can translate money into power. Yeah, definitely. To some degree, money gets you people, money gets you influence for people, money gets you advertisements, all sorts of things that you want to put your message out, to put your content or your moral beliefs out there, and then that gets you influence, and influence can get you control, and control can definitely get you power. It's all, there's so much to it for sure. Power lets you do things you want to do. Money lets you do things you want to do. What's the difference? Yeah. In many ways, yeah, there's so many similarities. There's a book called Stormlight Archive. It has good perspectives on power. Heck yeah. I'll read it when he's done. Should only be about another 15 years. Okay. I don't know what you mean by that, but they use people, power, and money together for good. U.S. society is set up so the rich people can find ways to not pay their share of taxes. Same for corporations. Yeah, I mean, I used to believe that 100% until, and I don't know if it's true, but Elon Musk tweeted that he paid $6 billion in taxes this last year. I'm like, I would have thought he could have avoided more of that, but I mean, he's like the richest guy ever. If anyone should be able to avoid taxes, it seems like it would be him. Have the best tax filers or whatever. And he still paid $6 billion. That's so much money. What bothers me about that is what in the world is the government doing with that money, you know? That's so much money just given to them because this rich Elon Musk lives in our country. And I would hope that the government's putting it to good use. But a lot of people would say otherwise. Flicker fade, it would probably be longer than that. What are you guys talking about? My lives being super long? I know I took forever to get this one started, but I'm only going to try to go an hour or so. I'm not going to go for 15 hours. Any topic. Oh, wait. Literally the quickest writer to... Oh, 15 hours to read the book, maybe. I know he's working on a lot of books at the same time. Ooh. I worked for a major corporation and they didn't pay any taxes. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Yeah, see, that's why it's hard to know. I'm sure it's different for every company. And I don't know. Sometimes it does feel like the system's set up in a way to benefit the rich. And then the poor just have to crawl their way out of poverty. I'm just kidding. Well, and here's the thing. I feel like we live in a day and age where we are so lucky, you guys. I think poverty is completely different nowadays than it was way, way back. Or even in like our grandparents' time. Because we just have so much more opportunity nowadays. And it's awesome. Like I do... Well, part of me is like for granted, but then I'm like... it depends on how you view it, because I want to take opportunities that come from that for sure. And in a way that's kind of taking it for granted. But like our day and age is one of the easiest time periods ever to make money and to have money and to, you know, get the things that we need and stuff like that. So I'm extremely grateful for that for sure. Where was I going with all this? Oh yeah. Does anyone have control? Are the government and the, whether it be the government, the top 1%, or whoever it is, are they just as confused as and lost as all of us? Like, do they care? Because I mean, I'm definitely confused. I don't understand fully how our system works, or even if there was someone in control, how would they, you know, control all of the 100 millions of people here, and even if we're just talking about the U.S., the American government and stuff like that, or even if there was some Illuminati, you know, trying to control and have huge, powerful influences around the world and stuff like that, how would they really even care? And if they could, like, wouldn't they just be just as confused? Wouldn't that be so hard to influence and control huge groups of people on a mass level? And why would they care? I guess I kind of already talked about that, but if you had so much money, would you want to control a whole government or a whole group of people? I wouldn't, but then again, it does come down to power. There's a lot of people that want power, and who knows, they might want to control people. And the whole reason why we're even talking about this is because the person I was asking the questions with, if the government was in control, it would be very smart of them to basically make our cage, you know, our cage of control, whatever they're influencing us or trying to keep us within, make that cage so big that it's hard to know that it's actually in a cage. And I thought about it and I was like, well, okay, if someone is in control and we're essentially, you know, being limited and we're in some sort of a cage as a nation or whatever, then if my cage is so big that it has a mall in it It allows me to like travel where I want. It has so much freedom and opportunity that I'm like, I don't know how I could see that as a cage, I guess. You know, I feel like our time period is so blessed and we have so much opportunity that it's just, I don't know, it kind of, some of the things they bring up, it does make sense that someone's trying to create some sort of a system or be in control, but it sure doesn't feel like it to me, anyways. I'm sure we do have limitations, especially a lot of people talk about like the government, there's so many rules and regulations, and the rules, laws are oftentimes made by just the majority of the votes. If enough people like petition for them, then they get made into a law and stuff like that. And it's like true, I'm sure we do create limitations, and to cooperate within a government or society, we do have to follow a lot of rules that a lot of people would consider dumb rules or whatever. But my hope is as long as the rules have beneficial reasons for them, and that's where it's like it's not always just the majority that can determine if it's good for all of society to have these certain rules or whatnot. But what other way are you going to do it? You know, you can't just have some king over everything deciding all of it, because then that's definitely corruption and would cause lots of problems. So with the majority, it's big enough for the majority not to fight about it or worry about it. Man, where's we going with this discussion? Yeah, it went to so many things. Yeah, sometimes the more I think of it, the more I just feel like it's, maybe I'm overthinking, you know, maybe I'm making it more complicated than it is. And it doesn't help that a lot of the social media, whether it is, I don't know if it's who it's influenced by or what, a ton of social media is a lot of acting, you know, a lot of made up stuff, and a lot of it is like controversial things or like hypocritical things. A lot of people share their supposed opinions and stuff, and it either doesn't make sense or they contradict themselves a lot of the times. And I think that just, I don't know, too many people maybe are so worried about like where we fit in and like how to conform to, you know, either a social group or things like that, that we kind of forget about what's more like a purpose or how we can create more meaning into what we're doing in our lives or in the society as a whole and things like that. And so for me, I don't know, I like to really zone in, and that's why I love spirituality a ton. I like trying to focus on like maybe why like the world works the way that it is. Is there a greater being that set everything up like for purpose, you know? Is there specific intentions for why we live the life that we have, and how do we make it the most meaningful that we can? How can we learn from it in a way to have a progressive mindset, basically, to learn and grow from it, and not let so much of like just anything that comes to you like change your mind or like conform you into certain ways. Because I felt like when I did leave a cult, I was very moldable. You know, I just left a cult where I was just kind of like doing whatever they told me to. I was trying super hard to be them, essentially, or at least make them like want, or like be something that they would want me to be. And so when I left, I was very much trying to conform to whatever groups I was in, figure out how to be with the people that I was around, and just kind of like Play-Doh, basically. I was able to be molded into whatever my environment was very easily. But now I'm a lot more like, I want to be way more intentional about why I believe what I believe, why I live the lifestyle that I'm living. And just to, I feel like when you're more intentional, your life will have more meaning and it'll be more enjoyable, and you'll be able to make the days count more. And you guys know me, I always talk about how we have, 89,000 days, sorry, 29,000 days in the if you live to be 80. So it's like, making those days count is so important, because it's not about trying to get more days necessarily. I mean, you can be healthy and try to that kind of stuff, but what I think is the most important is making those days count. The quality of the days is so much more important than the quantity. And so the value of every single day is really, it comes down to what you decide and how you're going to live life intentionally and make the most of it. And so that's what my goal is from all of this, and that's why I like having these kind of like deep, more meaningful discussions, because I feel like I take a lot away from them. Whew, nice. Lots of more comments, you guys. Heck yeah. I believe the U.S. is a fragile system. I feel like politicians and media show the negatives of the world. They are working to divide and not unite. Yeah, see, I feel like a lot of people agree with that. And it's curious to me, it makes me think of why, you know? Is it really because if they don't segregate us and like keep us all apart, then we might team up against them? We might realize that they have more control than they should, and we might actually make a difference, you know? I wonder if they might be afraid of something like that. I was going to say the same, red pill or blue pill. Yeah, I like thinking the scenario of like we live in some sort of a matrix, because it's fascinating. The world we live in, we can't fully comprehend it. It doesn't make sense, but we can at least kind of like relate it to things that make sense to us to better understand it. Flicker Fade, he wants it to be a 13 book series. Wow, that's a lot of books. Slore, it's a prison of your mind. To some extent, yeah, I agree with you, Leah. But the thing is, it's kind of like your mind can put you into a prison, but your mind can also set you free. So what you focus and put your energy in, I feel like that's what will influence your life. You have the power to, you know, find joy in everything that you're doing, make the most of each and every. I think being an day optimist and being a more positive person, it's easier said than done for sure, but I think the more you get into the habit of it, the more you try, then the more positive outlook you'll have on life. And who doesn't want to, you know, have more happiness, find more positive things to look at in life? I don't think that you're making it more complicated than it is. You just see the nonce which most people don't want to bother with. I'm glad you brought that up, because at one point he said, the person I was talking with, what did he say? Dang it. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, he was all like, because I countered one of his questions with saying, is it worth digging in, like trying to find out if someone does control it, or like looking into it enough to like maybe find the answer that poor people can't have as much influence as rich people, and like that's kind of sad, you know, and that kind of sucks, but it might be true. And is it worth like digging into it, finding out the truth, looking into it, rather than just kind of ignoring it? And according to my friend, he says, dang it, I don't think I put down his exact quote, but he said something along the lines of just like, forget about it, like life's simple, just take a walk through the woods, smoke a little kush, like drink some wine, everything will be fine. And he just kind of like gave the vibe of like, just take it easy, don't stress, don't worry about it. And it's like, yeah, sometimes I just want to chill out and just ignore it, take all of this like deep thought conversation stuff and put it on a shelf and just forget about it and try to keep life simple. But then I can't help but feel like I'm living I'm living a fake life. Like, I want to understand it more. I don't want to just live in ignorance, you know? And if I don't have answers, I don't expect everything to have answers, and that's fine. But if there are answers, I want to at least try to find them, you know? Or I want to cultivate what my answers are, and more importantly, the reason why I feel like these are the answers. So, at least to me, I think it's worth it. And, yeah, it's cool to just find the possible truths that are out there and cultivate your own. And not only like the truth, but it's like figuring out what like our potential answers are even fascinating to me. Because it's very likely that some of the things that you guys will bring up in this discussion, and some of the things that I like find out about brainstorming, maybe I've never even written them down on my list, or I've never even thought of them yet, or even can't fully comprehend that scenario or the way that might work. So to me, that's what piques my curiosity the very most. The new things that I can learn, the just fascinating ways of looking at life, and just the ways that things work, and the potential chance of there being some sort of a system and ways to have more influence and control, and like why someone might even want that, or what it might do to people, or like a society as a whole. And yeah, it's just interesting. And it's like, I mean, I want to say it, and like I hope that I can like be a positive influence in the world and help, but it's like, if I'm in lower class, if I'm considered poor, and I do find out that maybe poor people can't have as much influence, can't help as much, then it's not like I'm just gonna like, well, sucks, can't do anything about it. But it's more like once you find out different aspects like that, then I feel like it's easier for you to take the steps to either start making more money, or to if your goal is to have more influence, and poor people can't have the influence, then you can at least do something about it, especially now that you better understand that. If that is the true way of the system, then you understand step one, and you can either try to not conform to the system and not care about it, or you can just take the step to try and either save more money, make more money, do something about it. Hold on just a second, guys. Hey, sorry, I'm live right now. Okay, thanks. Sorry about that, guys. I guess. Man, I completely lost my train of thought. That's okay. Someone just wanted to say hi, so that's cool. What are you guys saying here? Let's see. Flicker Fade, hopefully his books are the best. That's why when you jumped into the Mormon faith, some of us were worried. Yeah, good point, Leah. Eskel for president 2024, LOL. SM Smith. I would totally vote for Eskel. Okay. LOL, that's funny, Leah. So sad, I completely fell asleep and missed the new live post. Getting over a crazy cold. I'll watch it later. Yeah, sorry, Kim. A lot of that's on me. Everything was a mess. I think my Wi-Fi is still down too, but we're making it work. It's okay. Eskel, I suggest that you read the Tao Te Ching. Is it in English? That sounds cool. Okay. Heck yeah. And don't go down the Heaven's Gate rabbit hole, because that's not good for anyone. Kim, don't worry. There were a lot of technical issues for Eskel, so we all missed a bit. Yeah, sorry, guys. I just want Gen Z to please go vote this November for the love of God. Nice. Does Gen Z have a hard time voting? Maybe they're too used to just doing everything on their phone. But I wouldn't be surprised if you can vote on your phone, so I would think they would figure out how to do that. Going to college was very affordable when I went. It's ridiculously expensive now. Because of this, it's much more difficult to improve one's financial lot in life than it was when I was young. So Laura, I don't know how old you are, but I've heard this many times. And at least for me growing up, I used to think that, okay, college is getting more expensive, but maybe like the minimum wage is going up, or the general salaries is going up for people and stuff like that, but it's not. And you're right, it's just crazy how expensive school is getting, and the wages are not matching it. And so it's making it very hard to get a college education, and it's kind of setting a lot of people up for failure to some extent, because they have so much debt, and it's really hard for someone to properly go to school, get all the education they need to get a really good paying job, and then be able to get ahead. And so it is kind of crazy how it is. I'm still going to college, and I know it kind of sucks, and I hate how expensive it is, and I feel like I'm just so broke all the time. But I sometimes just feel like college is just the way to go. And I'm not a huge fan of college. I think college is so hard. And if I found any other alternative, I would take it. But I can't help but feel like college is one of the statistically highest chance of someone to, I don't know if I would use the word become successful, but for someone to accomplish all of the goals that they have, to be able to get the career or job that they want, or to make the amount of money that they want and things like that. Because otherwise it's really difficult. It's hard for sure. Counterpoint, only vote if you've taken the time to inform yourself. Don't vote willy-nilly just to vote. Exactly. What if all the Gen Zs just vote for whichever person is on TikTok the most or something? You know? Like, I feel like it's so much more important to be educated and inform yourself about politics and about, you know, what different politicians are doing for the country. They don't feel a panic for the future. They should tell everyone to go vote this November, please. Hey, Ashley, welcome, welcome. Hey, Eskel, what's the most depressing song you've ever heard? I don't know why you want to know that. But when I was in the order, I definitely listened to a lot of sad songs. And there's one, oh, it's on my phone. There's one I really, really want to make a music video to, because when I was in the order, I listened to it and it was like, I could relate to it so much. Like, it felt like it was my life in the order. And it was super sad, but for some reason I liked listening to it so much because it was like other people feel what I am feeling, and it just felt so good to know that there's people that can relate to me and that I'm not the only one that feels like I have no say or control in my life and things just kind of suck. But I don't really listen to that song anymore. It's true, on my really bad days I'll bring it back up every once in a while, but I feel like life has been really good lately, so I don't listen to as much sad, and I don't listen to as much screamo or heavy metal music anymore, which is super fun, and when I work out, I do still sometimes, but my favorite is like new modern like hip-hop or like alternative music and stuff, because I love AJR's music. I love a lot of the John Bellion and stuff like that, and Nice D. His music is really cool. Yeah, there's a lot of really good positive vibes out there, I feel like. I have my master's and my husband has no degree, but he makes way more than me. Whoa, that's unique. Heck yeah. I think that's somewhat outrageous. He doesn't work really hard though. That's something you don't hear every day. Usually if you don't have a degree, you have to work way harder to make as much money as someone with a degree. I'm curious what... He does, not doesn't. Oh, okay. That makes a lot more sense. SM Smith. I was really confused there. Smith, are you just starting out? I have 5 years of experience and I work in mental health. Mental health is overlooked a lot. That's so true. Yeah. I feel like so many people, they don't see the benefit of therapists, and they don't see the benefit of like reflecting on their thoughts and kind of like cultivating their own ideas or creating their own like moral belief system. But I feel like it can be so valuable to even just write it down, get a sense or an idea of what you want to believe in and why. I feel like the why is almost more, if not just as important as the answer or the conclusion that you come up with. Let's see. Well, I hope over the course of your career that will increase quite a bit from where you are as you continue to build your CV. Not to mention that I'm already 43. Leah, you're 43. Nice. I'm going to be turning 25 this December, and I like to say that I'm still excited for it. And I feel like 25, I can pretend that's a quarter of the way through my life. And I'm still decently young, I would say. And the reason why I'm excited for 25 is because I've been driving what a lot of people would call like a shit box, I guess. My car is just really crappy. And so I have a goal that for my 25th birthday, I'm going to let myself finally get a loan for a car, because I've never borrowed money for anything but school so far, I think. That's not true. I've gotten little loans for other things and stuff, but I've never gotten a car loan. And I told myself when I turn 25, sorry, because it's a quarter way of through my life, I'm gonna let myself get a little loan on a car. And I'm excited for it because I'm sick of driving my piece of crap car. And yeah, so it's gonna be fun. I look forward to it. But the issue with that, if my car doesn't make it to December, I'm gonna have to buy a car sooner. So that would suck, but I'm hoping I can, no matter if it takes all the duct tape that I have, I'm gonna try to keep this car running and going until December, and then I'll put all my savings and get a loan out for a decent car. That's my goal anyway, but who knows, things might change. December's like 6 months away, it's pretty far, so we'll see how it goes. Let's see. Man, this discussion has been all over the place. I'm old, you're a baby. Huh, thanks, Leah. Is calling me a baby a compliment then? Because I guess I want to seem young. I hope so too. I'm a social worker. Whoa, did Eskel just swear? Yeah, I did. Sorry, guys. Okay, Eskel, what's the deal with your rearview mirror? Do you not have it to reattach? I don't think I have it anymore. I had it in my garage for a little while, but it was all smashed. Like, all the glass was broken. So I felt like it would have been useless to put it back up. I thought maybe I could just replace the glass, because I tried to buy a whole new one and it was like $80 or $90. And I was like, that's a lot of money for just a rearview mirror. And so, yeah, I just have a broken one in my garage. I'm pretty sure I threw it away actually now. And so, yeah, I don't have a rearview mirror right now, but I will get it fixed, I'm pretty sure, because, yeah, if I'm going to drive for 6 months, it's worth getting that fixed for sure. At least that part. Probably not too much. I just don't want to put too much money into it, you guys, because I'm probably going to just be throwing away the car when I'm done. It's got so many miles on it. I doubt I could get very much money off of it. Even if I tried really hard to sell it, the junkyard will probably pay me $500, and I think that's the most I'll be able to get from it. So, yeah. But I still keep it around because I want to, because I have a little bit saved up, and I want to continue saving. Like, the longer I drive this crappy car, the more I'll be able to save up for a better car. And if it does last all the way till December, I'll have a pretty good savings. So I'm hoping that happens. I'm really excited for it. Don't apologize. Swear anyways. Kelly, I'm old too. I'm 45. What kind of car is it? Because guess what you're getting in the mail? A rearview mirror? It's a Honda CR-V, but it's a 2002. So it's actually hard to find them. I couldn't find it on Amazon. But on like AutoZone's website or something, I found one. And I was like, I'm not gonna buy it. No, I will get one. I just haven't quite yet. Commendatory, yay, more old people. I did the whole mom thing, so no career for me, and now I'm kind of wishing I had done something for that. Yeah, that always scares me. I feel like I would love to be able to trust in someone enough to be the stay-at-home dad and have my wife go to work and have her career and stuff, but I would be so paranoid that if things didn't work out or something, if I didn't have a degree or at least some sort of work experience or something to fall back on, that would kind of drive me a little bit crazy. So I feel like, not that I'm planning to be a stay-at-home dad or anything, but like, you know, I feel like in our day and age, it's really up to, it's not just so old-fashioned where the guy always works and the girl stays home. I feel like, to me, I'm literally going to just sit down with my wife and be like, okay, who makes the most money? They should probably be the one to work. I mean, if we're talking about financial goals and stuff, that makes sense to me. And I hope I make the most money. I definitely am going to try to. But I don't know, if she has, I don't know, a better job or got a better degree than me or something, and if she wants to. Because, of course, it comes down to what like goals we have individually and as a family. But what am I talking about? I'm still single as a Pringle, so I shouldn't be giving dating or family advice. But it's still fun to think about, and I think about it a lot because I do hope to have a family one day. Are we adding to the problems when we give into the advertised lifestyle? Yeah, a part of the discussion, it went to how we a lot of society, we don't like that, like the big old corporations have so much power and control, but then we go and get Starbucks and Dutch Brothers and we wear like the Nikes and the designer things and stuff, and it's like we kind of are conforming in a lot of ways to what the big brands and the huge corporations and companies want us to do. So we had like an hour-long discussion about how we should become self-sufficient and not give into all of the advertisements of these big old corporations and stuff like that. But then it really comes down to like, what do we want? You know, it's like we aren't necessarily, just because an ad pops in front of our face and we do decide to go and get a dragon fruit drink from Starbucks or something, you know, it's not like we can't control ourselves and like, oh, we have to have all these nice things or whatever. But I do think the world is getting really good at advertising. I love in one of AJR's songs, he says that the ads are becoming like narcotics and we always have to have everything that they post and put in front of our face. And it's fascinating to think about because in some ways it's very true, but I like to believe that I still have control and a say in what I buy, even though a lot of ads pop up in front of my face and stuff like that. Okay, what do you guys talk about? Today, unless students take out loans, they have to work while attending school unless they have family to help. When I went to school, student loans were actually affordable and fair. Man, that's lucky, Slore. I've worked all throughout getting my degree, and I'm finally on my last year, and I literally took the summer off to work more and to try and save more, and just to, I guess, yeah, try to graduate with not so much debt. I do have student loans, but I don't like max them out. I try not to get a ton, and it does suck that I have them. And I keep on telling myself that I should like put school on pause till I pay it all off and then continue, but it's like, I don't want to wait. And the sooner I get my degree, the sooner I'll be able to get a better paying job. So just rack up that debt, man. Exactly, but also just feeling like you have a purpose in life when the kids are all in school now. Oh, that's true, yeah. Nowadays, it seems like you need 2 incomes in a household to make it. That's true, yeah. And that's where I feel like planning comes in a lot, because I always just assume that I'm going to have kids and stuff, and I shouldn't do that because it is between my wife and I, whatever we decide together, especially because she has to be the one to carry the babies. But I do have hopes and dreams and goals of having kids, and I think that would be awesome. It would be awesome to build up savings, you know, pay off the house, things like that. And then hopefully I would want for someone to stay home with the kids. Maybe not after just one kid, I guess, or something, but eventually, if you have like 2 kids, I would hope someone could stay home and help raise them and stuff. And if that's me, that would be awesome. I think that would be a ton of fun. I want to definitely have a good relationship with my kids. I think we all wish we would have done some things a bit different. That's true. Yeah, nobody's going to be perfect. We're all going to make mistakes, and that's why I don't think we should stress so much about having to know what's right or wrong, or like be super strict on what our exact moral beliefs are. I feel like a lot of it is up to learning and growing from them. Wait, what? I thought you had a girlfriend for like 3 years. What did I miss? Wow. Yeah, Leah, that was from one of my videos, but that video was like a year ago. No, it's only been like 3 or 4 months. But that video, I filmed it 3 months ago, but I was talking about an experience I had 2 years ago. So, yeah, I had a girlfriend for 3 years, and we broke up. Sorry if you're just learning about that now, but hello, welcome. It just drives me mad that everyone wants to look the same and act the same. Designer stuff, I ain't for that life. I want to look and act how I want. Thank you, Emma Word. I agree 100%. I swear, I'm sure there's a ton of what we talked about on that. Because it's funny. I think it is super funny when a lot of the times we, like, just in the internet in general, we like complain about a lot of people being so dramatic and like starting so much drama and like just, I don't know, kind of conforming to the ways of the world. And then a lot of the times what we click on and what we find interesting is the things that look dramatic, or the things that are juicy, or that look entertaining and stuff like that. So a lot of the times we are kind of like creating our own demise, I guess you could say. We're a lot of the times making decisions that aren't giving us the results that we actually want. And one example that we came up with was, I thought was awesome, because it really piqued my interest, especially if we're talking about the society and the government that we live in. This may only apply to people in the US, but the people in the UK or Canada or whatever, I'm sure that you can find similarities of this in your country as well. But get this. So if you are living in a society, or in a, what do you call it? I guess a town, dang, I should really think of better stuff than this. But anyways, a lot of the times we know what we want our like government to be like. We know that we want a safe, secure place. We want good, loyal, like righteous police officers, people that aren't going to take advantage or be racist or biased and stuff like that. We want a system where we can feel safe, where we can receive the proper health care and hospital attention and things like that. We know what we want on paper, and a lot of the times though, what we do isn't adding to those things that we know that we want and that we understand are good things that we should have and that are very important. But then a lot of the times we spend a little more time on social media, or we're a little too focused in the next TV show, and Stranger Things is so addicting, and like there's so many other entertainments and things that draw our attention and kind of get our focus and our money and our time. And I don't know, it's so interesting. And listen to this, like for example, you can learn a little bit about a society's priorities and things by doing things to test it, to see where we really focus our time and our money. And one great example is if you order, for example, something like your favorite food on DoorDash, and if you called the cops at the exact same time as you ordered your DoorDash, would there even be a question, or would you wonder at all what would get to you first? I know it's a weird example, but it kind of got me thinking, because it's like we do a lot of the times prioritize getting our food, delivered right to our door, and we want it quick, we want it fast, we want our entertainment, we want a lot of things in our life, even though we know it's so important to have the proper security, to have the proper healthcare and things like that. But a lot of the times our actual time and money and effort goes towards entertainment and other things. And I'm not saying that if you order DoorDash and call the cops at the exact same time, the DoorDash would get there before. But I honestly would wonder which one would get to you first. I'm sure there's lots of variables to it, but it's just kind of interesting how our food can get delivered to us so quickly, because clearly in our society that is a large priority. It's kind of funny. And maybe that's America only or something. And I'm not even saying that it specifically is. I'm just saying the fact that that's even a question when those are such dramatic different priorities, it's just kind of funny to me. It's interesting how that is. And it doesn't clarify what our priorities are at all. It just kind of shows a little bit of where some of our priorities are, I guess, and it definitely makes me wonder, like what type of a society we are living in, and how are we actually contributing to it, And then my friend said that it would be foolish to think that poor people actually have more of a say in what happens in the world than the rich people do. And that's very, I don't know what I feel about that, because I want to believe that it doesn't matter so much what your financial status is. I think it's more important about, what it is that we're working towards, what our goals are. And I feel like a poor person can be influential, a poor person can make a difference. And a lot of people might disagree. And I'm not naive enough to say that poor people maybe have more influence or anything like that. I do know money comes with a lot of power and opportunity and stuff like that. But I would hope, and I don't know, I guess I just like believing that it's not just about financial status. I don't like that so many people see that showing off like really nice fancy cars is such a big importance to them, or like having all this money to show off is such a big priority to so many people. I just don't really like that mindset. And so I like to believe to some degree that it doesn't matter where your financial situation is. Especially, I feel like, America is the dream of accomplishing your American dream and doing things no matter what like poor family you come from, or what status you come from, or whatever, you know. You have a lot of opportunities and you can really accomplish whatever you want. At least that's what I like to believe. Let's see. What else? But yeah, it really goes, a lot of it goes back to who's really in control. Do you let the social media influences control your life? Are you living life more intentionally and things like that? And, you know, some days I wake up and I think that like everything's going to be fine. And a lot of the times I don't like to see super far, like in the grand scheme of things. I just look at my day to day and what's happening that day and what's being influenced by me that day and what's going on. And sometimes it seems like it keeps life simpler, but it's still interesting, and I feel like it helps to better understand what choices we're making and what like I want my goals to be when I look at the grand picture and things like that. What else? Let's see. I think that was pretty much our discussion. I mean, in the end, I wanted to definitely end with the fact that I don't know everything, and these discussions, like I've said before, I make these videos to pique my interest and to just keep my curiosity flowing and thinking of new things. And I just personally, I'm not going to be shameful of maybe having wrong opinions or putting the wrong stuff out there, because this is all for my intentions is to just learn from it, just to grow. And I put it in a really good way, just to learn of why something matters or why I came to that answer. And so even if, where did I put it? Even if I make lots of mistakes, and I know for a fact I'm going to change my mind as time goes on, but I love being able to use these times to kind of like talk out my thoughts and my ideas and to learn more from them and to get you guys' feedback, to learn and grow with you guys. And I know I'm going to stumble a lot along the way, but the best way for me to live life intentionally is to just kind of put myself out there, to learn and grow as I basically am living life, you know, trying new things, posting stuff out there, changing maybe some of my viewpoints or some of my topic discussions to just figure out the best ways for me to grow from them and to better like understand people's like viewpoints and ways of living. And what was the last one? Oh, and I'm not trying to offend anyone. I'm really sorry if anyone got offended from any of this, but just take it as a grain of salt. This is all just for the sake of piquing everyone's interest, to have a fun discussion, to learn and grow together, and yeah, just to make the most of it. So yeah, hope that makes sense. I know a lot of it didn't really have answers. I love putting statements out there or questions that I don't necessarily want answers to, but I like to just talk about them and figure out more like viewpoints on them and how to look at them in a way to see them better and better understand them. Because I feel like that's what the end goal is. Not necessarily, we're not going to like solve world hunger. We're not going to find all of these huge answers right here, right now. But I think it's very interesting to just kind of discuss them and learn from them. And the more I learn, the better I am at understanding what questions to ask to get maybe deeper discussions or more meaningful thought like provoking answers and stuff like that. So thanks for indulging me, you guys, and I'm really glad a lot of you guys, 24 people, have stayed with this this long. And I went over an hour again, and I kind of knew that I was going to. It's 79 minutes. What is that? An hour and something. So I'm gonna try to work on that. I don't like making them shorter and stuff like that, but I just want to have some sort of goal and a time frame to be more self-aware of how long these are going and stuff like that. So that's pretty much the end. I'm gonna wrap it all up and come to an end, but let's hurry and read the last little comments, and then we will call it good. You had to go, Morgan. See ya. Smith, thanks. It was fun doing school stuff in the classroom class. Oh, heck yeah. Politicians can't be elected without money, and the only people who can give them money to be elected are the rich. Therefore, laws are written for their benefit. Ooh. When I graduated, there was a 70-year-old in my class. Oh, wow. I picked him for every group project. He was the smartest one there. That's awesome. Smith, I'd love to chat with you about social work if you're ever available. Nice. I think that's awesome if you guys are making connections. See, might as well learn from one another. We all have different life experiences, so I think it's really beneficial to come together and discuss things with a vast variety of ages, jobs, careers, lifestyles, and places that we live. See a pumpkin patch. Didn't even notice it was over an hour. Heck yeah, Russ. Yeah, I feel that same way. I was like super determined to only go an hour today, but a lot of the things really, like I've been talking about these types of topics all week, and so I have a lot on my mind. It's all good. What do you think of Klaus Schwab and the WEF? I'm not sure what that is. Is that something I should know? Smith, that's my email. If you want to send an email, I can answer back like tomorrow because I'm off to bed soon. Good night, Leah. I like these interesting and thought-provoking topics. Good choice, Eskel. Thanks, SM Smith. I like them too, and I'm glad you guys have participated so much. I love all the comments. It's been really fun. Thank you guys. Good night, everyone. Loved seeing you, Eskel. We love the lives no matter how long they are. Nice. Yeah, and really the time frames just to help me so that my rants don't go on too long and to just hopefully get better and better at doing these lives. I personally, I feel like I have. I watched my very first live that I ever did, and oh boy, it was very cringy. And the crazy thing is, it's not even the most cringy one. I have videos that I am like waiting to post on my Patreon because they are so cringe, you guys. And Patreon's way more personal, and so like I should just post it on there. But even some of these ones are just, they still get to me, and it's just, I can't help but laugh a lot. But anyways, yes, next time we'll try for 5 hours. Russ, great idea. No, that would be hard to do, actually. I could probably do like 3 hours without thinking about it, but to go 5 hours, that would be so hard. Dang, I didn't even notice it was over an hour. Eskel, you should do a giveaway when we get to your father Verl's number. What? I do want to do a giveaway in about 3, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, in 3 more weeks. It's going to be my 20th. So I want to do another simple giveaway, like either another mug or one of the candles or something. And on my 25th live, that's going to be in like 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks, I want to do something a little bit bigger. I'm going to like... either I'm going to do this painting right here if Amanda doesn't notice that I still have it, or I'm going to ask Amanda to collab with me and she'll probably do most of the painting, but create a really cool painting, maybe extra big or something, and that will be the raffle giveaway for my 25th, because the 25th is going to be a 4th way to 100, and I think that's a big number, and it's going to be worth doing something big for it. So that's my goal and plan, and the 20th is going to be pretty soon too, so I think something small for that would be fun. And yeah, so those are the ones you'll definitely want to be to, and maybe I'll try to come up with different ways for people to get their names in the cups to be drawn. But yeah, it should be fun, so definitely come to those ones, alright guys? Eskel, maybe I can help with the 5-hour one. Yeah, David, you should definitely come on to one of my lives. I have invited a few people, but the timing hasn't worked out for a lot of them, and I still haven't reached out to Joe Robinson. I got to invite, I invited him already, but we haven't like specified when or set any schedules or anything. So I still already said I'd let him be on one of them. So I got to figure out that with him. And then David, let me know which one you want to be on. I'd love to have you on one as well. 12-hour marathon. Well, if you guys wanted it to be like vlog style, I could totally just take you with me everywhere I go. But if it was a 12-hour one, whatever, there would be a lot of awkward silence. But if I take you with me, it wouldn't matter if I'm talking the whole time. I could show you all the stuff I go to, maybe go on, I don't know, different hikes and stuff. I think it'd be a lot of fun. The 2 5-hour Patreons Amanda did literally didn't notice. Really? 5 hours. I don't know how she did that, you guys. She is dedicated to her craft. I don't know if I could do that, but even on my Patreon lives, I think the longest one's only like an hour and a half. I've gone longer on some of my YouTube ones than on my Patreon one, but yeah, I don't know. That would be fun. I'll think about it. But yeah, if I did a super long one, it probably would be on my Patreon, because I'm trying to just, I guess, yeah, shorten my YouTube ones so they can be a little bit more straight and to the point, and yes, Russ, and funny too. Yeah, I gotta work on my comedy. Sometimes a lot of people tell me I'm way too serious. I laugh and joke a lot of the times, and sometimes what I'm laughing at, most people don't find it funny, because a lot of the order humor is very dark and morbid and stuff like that. So sometimes I'll be telling really sad and dramatic stories, and I'll just be laughing my head off when I really shouldn't be, and I can't help it. How is Jacob doing? He did have to go to the hospital this last week because he fell. He was like walking across one of the highway, the things that go over a highway, and he fell. So it must have been a pretty far fall. I didn't get to hear a ton about it. I just know that he fell off of one of those highway overpasses, and he like broke his wrist or his arm, and he had to get a staple in the back of his head because he hit his head pretty hard. But he's doing okay. I did reach out to him when I saw that, and I at least texted back and forth with him, and he said everything's good now. So yeah, it was a little bit scary in the moment, but now things are doing better. Comedy's easy, just trip and fall on your head. Okay, Flicker Fade. I do want to do short skits that are funny. I think it would be so funny to do what it's like being an order dad, or what it's like growing up in the order, and do short little skits of just like funny scenarios, or things that are just normal in the order that are just like just way not normal out in the world, I guess. I get your comedy though. It's of people in my life enjoy dark comedy. Yeah, I think some people relate to it, and some people really do find it funny, and I do too, and I just laugh at a lot of stuff. But hey everyone, welcome Brittany. We're just at the end of this live, but I'm glad you made it to the very end. Sorry, we will be ending here really soon. Or did someone throw him off? Oh no, I don't think anyone threw him off. All I did is I saw the post they put on Instagram, and he was in a hospital bed with a neck brace, and I texted him like what happened, and that's what he told me. He said he fell off of the overpass, broke his arm or wrist or something like that, and he had to get a staple in the back of his head. But yeah, okay, I'm off to bed, everyone. Have a wonderful week. Yeah, that is a perfect time to end this, so thank you guys. I hope you all have a great week, and what was the last? Oh, just on my Patreon, I try to go live on Wednesdays. Sometimes it changes according to my schedule. And then next week, yeah, I hope to see you all next week. So hope you all have a great one. I have to watch my jokes too, to not offend anyone. Yeah, that's another thing. I don't ever want to offend anyone. He was doing what you did on that bridge, Eskel. I hope he wasn't. But yeah, he might have been. A lot of order members are daredevils, you guys, so yeah, I'm not surprised that we get hurt like all the time. But bye M. Smith, bye Emma, bye Leah, bye guys. Thank you so much for sticking around for the whole thing. You guys are real troopers. This was longer than I expected, and it took forever to get it up, so I needed to make it worth it. But thank you guys, and I'll see you all next week.